Hello everyone, LRon here with part 37 of my Total Terraria World Annihilation. So, um, basically, as I was saying, there's a lot of physical content to show in this video series, but not a lot of proper explaining to go with it. I mean, in the first maybe 3 or even 2 videos, there was enough content to, um, or enough capability of discussing the battle plan, but in the long run, that doesn't really sustain properly because I've already explained everything there is to explain about the strategy, and it's now just a matter of taking the time to execute. And I'll be completely honest right now, I have no clue what the hell I've just done in this past minute and a half. I go down, fall, do pretty much nothing, carve out 1 block wide on the west side, then do a little bit on the east side. I'm really perplexed about the lack of efficiency, and it's actually quite depressing since I was already talking about how much there is to do, and if I'm not doing it as effectively as possible, then I am wasting everybody's time, and that's just unacceptable. Get my katana. It's time for me to redeem my honor. No, I'm probably not going to do that, but I bet someone was amused by that. In any case, looks like I do get back on track properly. Let's see, do I stick around and wait for the water to come down, or do I just let it go? I sincerely hope that I go back down and start mining that obsidian, because that water is going to evaporate, and that's a waste of water. I mean, I guess water's not really all that important when you can do some cheese tactics like infinite water pumps and endless water buckets and all that good stuff. But, like with the oceans, I tried to make the most of that water and convert as much lava into obsidian as possible so that I wouldn't have to go through water generation to as big of a degree. But it looks like I squander that little lake. And as depressing as that is, we just gotta move on. And now, the annoying bit about mining upwards in the snowy patches is all that silt and slush. It keeps pushing me off to the side as it hits me because it wants to do knockback. Then I have to get myself back in position and start mining again, and then another one comes and it stabs me again. And not sure exactly why I decided to take the long route. I should have just cell phoned out, even though it was close by. And we're back to going west. Um, so I guess to make a long story short about Total Terraria World Annihilation versus, you know, OT8 guide and competitive matches and whatnot, is, you know, with Total Terraria World Annihilation, there's a lot of filibustering going on. But with those other um, styles of video, it's very clear to me what I'm going to need to talk about and whatnot. So it's actually a lot more straightforward and whatnot. Because like with the OT8 guide, I rarely knew exactly what was going to happen. Like sometimes you did see me surprised, but I had the general ballpark correct in my mind, and also I had probabilities on my side. I mean, yes, I had a lot of death worth of cut out content that I had to uh, figure out, what was real and what wasn't. Um, kind of like when I was first discovered as a schizophrenic, I had to uh, basically figure out which realities were real and which were not. Um, but in any case, um, while I didn't know the exact way things were going to go down in the next given 30 seconds, I always knew that there was something useful to say. Unlike here, where pretty much everything I'm saying, it was kind of just a feeling of obligation to say something, and it doesn't necessarily add to anything. At least it doesn't add to anything in relationship to the content being displayed. Um, because, I mean, in the past 3 videos now, the extent of what I've said that was pertinent to what I was doing was the presence of Crimson Hearts and um, strategy about going vertically versus horizontally, and then a mild self-scolding about efficiency. But aside from that, assuming that I haven't forgotten anything else, there's nothing else that was relevant to what I did in the past 30 minutes here um, was discussed at all. I mean, because there frankly isn't much else to discuss at that point because I'm mining in directions that there's stuff to mine, and I'm delivering it into the chests. Um, so I've probably exhausted this topic a bit too much at this point. So hopefully you won't have to hear me complain about that for at least a couple more cohorts. Um, Now the big debate on what I'm going to talk about in the next video. I'm completely unsure at this point. Um, where am I going? Aha. There's some more catch up and cleanup and housekeeping. Alright, I will see you next video.